They found the hydrocarbon beneath the ice. Now they must bring the raw stream into processing. Pressure at the wellhead is controlled first, keeping the raw hydrocarbon flowing safely through the surface system. The insulated flow line carries the untreated mixture across the ice toward the first processing vessel. Before refining can begin, the raw mixture must first be stabilized and separated inside the processing facility. The separator receives everything produced from the well, not just the hydrocarbon liquid they ultimately need. Inside the vessel, pressure and residence time allow the different phases to separate under controlled operating conditions. What leaves the separator is no longer one mixed stream, but several controlled streams moving toward different treatment stages. The hydrocarbon stream is now isolated for treatment, while the real transformation of raw material can finally begin. The raw hydrocarbon enters the separator, where pressure and gravity begin separating the mixture into its essential phases. Inside the vessel, the flow slows enough for gas, water, and hydrocarbon liquid to separate under controlled conditions. The lightest component, gas, moves toward the upper outlet before continuing into its own treatment system. The heavier water settles low inside the separator and leaves through a dedicated outlet for controlled handling. Between them remains the hydrocarbon liquid, the stream this facility will eventually refine into usable fuel. 3 controlled streams now leave the separator, each following its own pipeline toward the next stage of processing. The hydrocarbon stream takes the longest route, heading deeper into the processing system for further purification.
The separation is complete. What remains is still raw hydrocarbon, and the next stage must remove what the separator could not.
Separation removed the major phases, but the hydrocarbon still contains contaminants that must be removed before refining. The first treatment stage removes fine solids and remaining suspended material carried from the underground reservoir.
Next, the stream enters a dehydration stage, where unwanted water is removed before the hydrocarbon moves farther downstream.
The cleaned hydrocarbon is then stabilized, keeping its composition and operating behavior under controlled conditions. Each treatment stage removes another unwanted component, leaving a cleaner and more stable hydrocarbon feed. The treated stream now meets the conditions needed for the next major step, separating its hydrocarbon fractions. The raw material is cleaner now, but it is still a mixture of hydrocarbons with very different properties. The hydrocarbon is finally clean enough for fractionation, where the right fuel range components can be selected. The cleaned hydrocarbon enters fractionation, where controlled heat separates its different boiling range components. Inside the column, rising vapor and descending liquid repeatedly exchange heat, progressively separating the hydrocarbon mixture. Lighter fractions travel higher, while heavier fractions remain lower as the separation progresses through the column. The target is a kerosene range hydrocarbon fraction, not gasoline, and it still requires further purification. This selected fraction now leaves the column and enters deeper treatment, designed to produce highly purified kerosene fuel. The selected kerosene range stream must still be purified further before it can qualify as rocket-grade RP1. Further treatment removes remaining impurities and stabilizes the kerosene stream for its final fuel conditioning stage. The correct fraction has been isolated and purified. Next, it must be conditioned to become rocket-grade kerosene. The purified kerosene range stream enters final conditioning, where its properties are refined for rocket propulsion. Final treatment removes trace contaminants that could compromise the fuel during storage, transfer, or engine operation. The stream is stabilized and conditioned, so its critical fuel properties remain consistent from storage through engine operation. Now the hydrocarbon has been refined toward the purity required for rocket-grade kerosene, known as RP1. The finished hydrocarbon fuel is sampled directly from the controlled process line before it can be released for testing. The fuel is no longer treated as raw petroleum,
It is now a controlled, refined hydrocarbon propellant awaiting verification. But refinement alone is not enough. Laboratory testing must confirm that every critical property meets the required specification.
The rocket-grade kerosene is prepared. Only testing can now decide whether this batch is ready for storage.
The refined hydrocarbon has reached the laboratory, but it cannot be approved until its critical properties are verified. The first checks examine whether unwanted water and contaminants remain after the entire refining process.
Other tests examine density, viscosity, volatility, and thermal behavior to confirm the fuel performs consistently. For a rocket, consistency matters. Every batch must behave predictably under demanding operating conditions.
The laboratory results are compared against the required fuel specifications before the batch can be released. Only after the measurements pass every required check can the refined hydrocarbon be cleared for controlled storage. The tested batch is released from quality control, and the next pipeline now carries it toward dedicated storage. The fuel has passed its tests. Now it must be stored safely before making the final journey to the spacecraft. After passing verification, the rocket-grade kerosene enters dedicated storage, isolated from contamination. The storage system keeps the finished fuel isolated while monitoring pressure, temperature, and transfer conditions. When fueling begins, a dedicated transfer pump moves the stored RP-1 through the main line toward the launch complex. The transfer line crosses the frozen surface on supported steel structures, following a direct route toward the launch pad. At the launch area, the RP-1 line connects to the vehicle's dedicated fuel system through controlled ground support equipment. The fuel connection locks into place, creating a sealed transfer path into the spacecraft's dedicated RP-1 tank. The RP-1 system is now complete, while the spacecraft's separate liquid oxygen system remains independently prepared for propulsion. The fuel transfer is complete. With both propellant systems prepared, the vehicle now enters its final launch sequence. The fuel is aboard, the oxidizer system is ready, and the spacecraft now approaches its final launch sequence. Ground systems retract, leaving the vehicle clear while its onboard propellant systems prepare for engine startup. The engines begin their ignition sequence, but the vehicle does not lift immediately. Thrust must build first. As thrust rises beyond the vehicle's weight, the launch system reaches the point where liftoff becomes possible. The vehicle finally clears the launch structure, carrying refined RP-1 fuel produced from hydrocarbon recovered beneath the ice. Below, the entire industrial chain remains connected, from underground extraction through refining, testing, storage, and launch. What began as a hidden hydrocarbon reservoir has become a complete fuel chain, reaching from frozen ground to space. They found the fuel beneath the ice. Now the question is simple. What else could be hidden down there?